this thing on? Yeah. Where were we? We were talking about E.T. and whether he was in the closet. You know, what was Spielberg trying to say with that movie, E.T.? Something about empathy, aliens, but it throws back to nature, because aliens, from my understanding, it's not a physical phenomenon. Even with the UFOs, the UAPs, or whatever, you know, people talking about, this guy sucks, and this guy sucks, and they're all blowing smoke. You look at the wording on the government documents. The wording is very specific. It's a particular word. It's called belief. And that throws back to, like, the Indian Vedas, the Indian texts or whatever, that have diagrams of different spaceships and aliens and stuff like that. It throws back to the Christian paintings that you can find, you know, where it's like, this thing in the sky told this dude to do this thing, you know, and then he did it, and he got his ass beat for it anyways. Now he's a saint. Okay, smooth it over. You know, it also comes down to the semantics, like what defines an alien. Some people are like, you can't even call an illegal immigrant an alien, or you can't say this, you can't say that. Let's bury this. You know what I mean? If we got aliens now, where does that leave Jesus? You know what I mean? If we got aliens now, where does that leave God? So we have these semantics, and we have some dudes who are pretty heavily invested in their scribblings and their writings. You know, God means this, and we do it this way because of that, and this is how it's been working for so long. And you know, all the Abrahamics and all this, they got a lot of time invested. We're talking about, you know, a time before the internet, where like dudes who were learned and we're all about books and we're all about philosophy, you know, they were hooked up with one church or one religion or another. Atheism is, from what I understand it, a relatively newer concept. And the problem with atheism is the atheists themselves. Is people who proclaim themselves to be atheists are usually like the biggest douchebags on the planet. That's a throwback to the UAPs and the alien sightings and stuff like that. It's you know, you got the notion that with the Roswell crashes, that it was disbelief of the witnesses that actually brought down the UAPs, the UFOs. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's like they hit a limiter in the disparity, and because the aliens are like, yo, we do it this way, we've been doing it this way since Gargalax 4 or whatever the fuck. They fly over like some dumbass farmer's fucking, you know, farm town or whatever. He cannot believe what the fuck he's seeing. He can't rectify it. Like, what the fuck is that thing? You know what I mean? You know, we're talking, you know, just, you know, what, early 1950s? You know, he's seeing stuff from World War II, planes and stuff like this, but he's never seen anything like this. Like, you know, this is a fucking primo. It's like a Nissan Altima of the intergalactic world here. He just can't believe it. And because of the nature of the spacecraft, and because the aliens themselves didn't have the prerequisite training to deal with the belief, the human belief, or the human propensity for disbelief, that they fucking beefed it. You know what I mean? And then the government, you know, goes, claims the aircraft, or whatever, spacecraft, dimensional craft, and, you know, covers it up. Hush, 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 hush. But it was a disparity in belief. And if you look at the paperwork, on the government paperwork, they always write it down, you know, so-and-so believed they saw a thing do this thing over here, or they saw that thing do a barrel roll. He believed he saw a tic tac over there, or whatever. And I haven't really looked at the paperwork, because aliens, like, aliens not totally my thing. I'm more like, common sense and imagination. But, more on the common sense part. Imagination is a beautiful thing. It encompasses so many different feelings. But the common sense thing is just like, all right, so you can only see these things if you believe you can. We're talking like Peter Pan, you gotta clap for Tinkerbell type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if that's the case, you're only gonna see an alien, or you're only gonna experience alien phenomena if you believe you can. So it's like it's a strange kind of, not catch-22 particularly, but if you're not open to the experience of seeing a UAP or seeing an alien, your likelihood of being able to witness an alien event or whatever falls dramatically. It also lowers the chances of an alien UAP being able to operate. Now, does that mean that a UAP cannot operate if there's disbelievers in the area? And the answer to that, I believe, is no. After what we seen in like Jersey last year, I seen 10 of them on this very road, looking straight ahead. We have the planes coming in from JFK. I seen 10 of them. My passenger saw 10 of them too. And then I seen one. It looked like an airplane. It looked like a 747, and it was just like making right-hand turns by a building. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? It looked like how a kid would fly a plane. You know what I mean? It was strange, but it was like, it looked like a 747, and it was like a little drone type thing. And then off the side of the highways over here, I seen some stuff, because then people were like flying their drones like crazy at that point. It was like a mania, you know what I mean? And like I said, I seen 10 of them coming over the sky, flying to the right of the path to LaGuardia, where the planes come into the flight path for the planes coming to LaGuardia. You seem pretty regular. Like I see a plane right now. So, whether the UAPs we've been seeing recently are legit the ones from the stars, which is like, that has to do with quantum and the perceivable light, and possibly even the light we cannot perceive, hitting off civilizations that are out there, but they're being quantumly projected down us. And then that ties in with the microcosm and macrocosm. So like, it could be, it could just be a matter of distance, a distance that we may never be able to span, where civilizations are playing out very similar to ours, with very minor differences, maybe fluctuations in the amount of light from their suns, their stars, fluctuations in their moons, or it could be almost like one-for-one copies of Earth, with like maybe people got different skin colors, or they speak a different language, that kind of thing. So there's definitely alien, as in not of Earth, entities and influences, affecting Earth. You know what I mean? Affecting our planet and affecting our psyches, and what we can perceive and what we can't perceive. That's still, still very much up for debate. As far as the physical craft, I believe there probably have been some physical manifestations and some materials that may otherwise not be native to the planet. The thing is, the nature of belief, as soon as you go to try to observe it, you know, something that people can't rectify, will like kind of crumble. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as you look at it, the whole thing kind of falls apart and turns into junk. So you gotta, like, the minute you start showing it to somebody who just cannot rectify it, like, it, you know, it becomes inert. It like turn it from gold into lead, like reverse alchemy in a sort of way. So that's like that'll be the second segment for disclosure on UAPs there. 10 minutes, too.